I picked a heck of a day to start this project. It's 90 degrees in the shade, and I can't even tell you what the humidity is, but it feels like you're in a hot swimming pool. But I got nothing else going on, and this project needs to get started, so what the heck. If I die, I die. But we're going to introduce you to the new hayfield today, and just for reference, I wanted to, so that everybody knew about where we were at. This is the bean field that's up front by the road, and we got to drive back through the woods here. So I'm not going to show you the drive back there because I don't want to get too much of the guy's house in the video, but this is the front. Okay, this is it. It stops right there at the corn, obviously, and it actually goes down fairly, almost halfway to that second tower, but it took me a minute to get back here. I had to move some stuff. There's a burn pile there that we're going to use, but I had to restack it because it was a mess. But I guess so you don't have to do as much visualizing. I'm going to go ahead and get this brush hog so you can see what we're working with, and after I get it mowed, we'll give you the grand tour real quick. apparently there's a wet hole there. It didn't even give me any warning. It meant the front axle went in, it started to spin, and the minute it started to spin, it was rank. And I can't get myself out with a loader, so I saw there was a hole there, but it's a man-made hole, so I didn't figure this was that wet, but apparently it is, so I guess I'm gonna have to call Dad. Back to the farms. I dropped the brush hog. I got done mowing, then my landlord came out and wanted to shoot shit, and next thing you know, it was time to leave. So I'm gonna go back tomorrow with just the grapple. We got some more trees to clean up, and then you can see the whole thing for yourself. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, we're back. I got out here early today. We had a line of thunderstorms roll through this morning. It actually was kind of nice. They weren't super severe thunderstorms, just kind of a rumble every once in a while, but it rained pretty softly for about 5-ish hours. We got about 6/10 out of it, as opposed to the rain we got Wednesday afternoon, where a line of thunderstorms rolled through and it dropped 1.5 inches in 40 minutes. That being said, I'm pretty sure the ground soaked most of it up, because there wasn't really a whole lot of water standing, but still, 1.5 inches of rain over, 10-12 hours would have been better than 40 minutes. But as promised, we'll walk around here real quick. After I got it mowed yesterday and figured out exactly what we're dealing with, this morning, while I was waiting for the rain to finish up, I made a sat map of it on Web Soil Survey, and it's about 2¼ acres roughly. And I'm guessing that wet hole where I fell in is actually a pond that over the years has kind of filled in. Actually it'd probably be a nice little sitting spot if you went and dredged it out and kept some copper sulfate in there to keep the shit out of it, and you can probably stack it with some fish. It'd probably be a nice little pond. And then there's this thing here. This is man-made. The guy that originally owned this place, he was a nice guy, but he was really eccentric and he was really lazy, which you'll see here in a minute as we walk around and I explain things. But the new owner does want to keep this, so unfortunately I'll still have to farm around it. So between that and that, I'm guessing I probably lost about 1/4 acre, so probably figured there's about 2 acres here total. It does look bigger than that, because it goes from the corn all the way down. Well, from this angle you can't see it. It goes over that rise. We'll go stand out the other end and you can look at it. But there is, so I don't know what the guy that had this place before, there's all right between there and that wet hole, there's all sorts of little, like, it's like they just came out here and dug a hole and left a hole in a dirt pile next to it, because there's dirt pile there, hole there, hole here, hole there, dirt piles all the way around that pond. there's a dirt pile there with a hole on this side of it. See right here, dirt pile. It was not fun mowing this. That's why I didn't get a whole lot of video. This was stressful. But hole here with a dirt pile. There's a dirt pile here. There's a dirt pile right here when they tried to, they did try to dig this pond. They made like a little square. I don't know what they were trying to do. And then all the way back here for some random reason, it's fairly, it evens out. Well, there's a dirt pile there, a dirt pile there. And then for some reason, there's a random ass dirt pile here. Like, it made it a pain to mow. Because all the grass was grown up even. So you looked across it, you'd swear to God it was flat. And then it wasn't. But anyway, it goes from where I stopped mowing there. It actually, on satellite view, it looks like it might actually go a little bit beyond that, but that's just where I'm going to stop. Well, no, I guess, because the satellite view showed that little... He had been mowing some of this with his little... He's got like a little MTD Cub Cadet TSC special lawnmower, and he managed to mow everything up there where the 1600's sitting, and then this path back here. Poor little mower. But luckily, he chose the spots that weren't all tore up. But anyway, it goes from here where I stopped mowing all the way down there to the corn. It looks like a lot more than 2 acres, but satellite map says 2 1/4, so I'm going to go with 2 1/4 minus that wet, or minus the pond and that man-made thing up there. So I'm guessing it's probably about 2. So tomorrow I'm going to bring my boss's Bobcat down here because there's a lot more dirt work today. I was just going to, because I knew about that man-made hole, and I was just going to knock the dirt berm off around it and kind of contour the bank and move some dirt around and level everything off to make it easier to farm around. Well, I got all these little dirt piles to knock down and holes to fill in, so it's like, screw it. Rather than beating the crap out of the 1600 trying to move all this dirt, I'm just going to borrow my boss's skid steer. I can do in an hour what it would take me 4 hours to do with that. Plus, you can grade a lot better with a skid steer. So tomorrow, that's the plan, is to bring the Bobcat down here. Like, why? If it was a bunch of little like tire rut width, I would say, okay, there's some wet holes out here and there was a bunch of kids come out here with their trucks, but it's literally dirt piles. I don't get what they were going for. So hopefully, I'm gonna moldboard it. Obviously, I don't really have much choice. You're not as grown up as this was. That's the only way you're gonna clean it up, is to moldboard it and bury everything fresh. And I was initially, when I thought that it was going to be flat, just going to bring the 77 and the 2 bottom over here for maneuverability. But as bad as this is grown up, I'm gonna have to bring the 19 over and the 575, because I'm gonna need the trash clearance on that plow to get all this stuff buried decent. And then come to find out, here where I got stuck yesterday, the guy that owns it's got a buddy with, you know, big jacked up diesel Ford pickup that naturally had to come out here and wanted to try to do some mud bogging. How he had axles left under the truck after bouncing over all these holes, I don't know, but I guess he came down in here and buried it right where I fell in. So I fell in his tracks, which is why the 16 went down with absolutely zero warning. It just, the bottom fell out from under it. But as you can see, it's wet right here. So when I got the skid steer, I'm probably going to take that dirt pile right there, skim it off flat so that the ground's not a big old hump right there, and dump that here to fill in these ruts. And then if I could farm up to here, we'll be good, because this is about where the cattail started. And I probably could have got a little closer all the way around, but I was starting to get skittish because I didn't want to have to call Dad back. So I just quit while I was ahead. And truthfully, it was getting a little soft in here anyhow, so And it doesn't do any good to put hay on ground that's just going to lay wet to begin with, because then you play hell getting the hay to dry out. So we'll just farm. I'll probably actually hang back a little bit from where I mowed. And after I get the hay in, every once in a while I'll just come out here around this thing and do a lap with the brush hog and keep it cleaned up so that the stuff doesn't encroach on into the hay. And I'll be able to, I couldn't brush hog this because of this dang dirt pile. I couldn't get over top of it without bottoming the mower out, so I got to skim this off and contour all this out, and then I'll be able to get around here so that this edge is going to get more rounded. So mostly what I got going out here is going to be dirt work, and then I got these trees to clean up, which I think there's only actually maybe 3 in there. They're whole trees with branches still on them, why it looks like there's more. And I got this log here that I managed to straddle with the brush hog and couldn't figure out how long it was. And actually, the more I looked at it, I wonder if this is actually a dang telephone pole. Well, actually, no, wait, is this a root ball? Oh, yeah, okay. No, this is the top. Okay, it's not a telephone pole. It was like perfectly round with no knots on it, and it was, I thought it was a telephone pole at first. So all this dirt off of here is going to fill in this hole, and this is going to get contoured so it's easier to farm around. I got to pull that bush off of that leg right there. Oh, more damn re-rod. There was a bunch of these laying under here. There's another one. Yeah. You have to be careful when I plow this. Obviously there's nothing growing underneath this thing. I don't know if it's residual herbicide or exactly what's going on here. Hopefully once I moldboard it and roll it over, whatever's going on will be gone. But if not, I'll just mow around it. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings none to not have to go underneath it. Tell Justin those things are, or no, I guess he didn't clean up the pile from yesterday. This little thing of bushes coming out, that's gone. There are 2, they were like flower box things. Those are going away and they're gone. So yeah, basically, oh, and then there's a bunch of logs in here. Like I say, the guy that owned this he was a nice guy, but he was, like I say, he was very eccentric and he was very lazy, and there are just random ass dirt piles and log piles all over around here. It's like they'd cut up a tree, chunk it up like they were going to cut it up for firewood, and then they just leave it and mow around it. So yeah, but anyhow, the job for today is finished getting these logs cleaned up. So that's where we're at. Alright, had to come sit in the shade for a minute, take a break. It's miserable out here, but work's got to get done. Even the old 1600's running a little warm. I think the radiator's clear. I blew it out yesterday. It's not like hot, it's just getting kind of warm. Warmer side of normal. But I got all the trees cleaned up. There wasn't much past this log pile here that we started on. There wasn't much. There was just 2 bigger logs down further, so the rest of that stuff I just pushed back into the trees. Most of it was just weeds, but I figured poke in there and make sure there wasn't anything big hiding. So this is all cleaned up. I got there was 3 trees, I guess 2 trees and some brush back there that I got cleaned up. So all the trees are taken care of. That log that was laying back there in the grass is cleaned up. So all I got left that I need to do with the grapple is clean up these 2 flower boxes and this patch of trees right here, and that bush there growing on that tower leg. And there's a few bigger blocks of firewood right there and right here on the corner I'm going to push out and get on the burn pile, because once the burn pile's gone, the driveway is going to go where the burn pile's at and skirt the woods out back to the main driveway to the house. That way I don't have to drive through his yard. I think I should be able to get everything back here I need to get this worked. The color mulcher is going to be tight. Everything else is pretty narrow, even that 5-bottom plow. So getting back here with everything except the color mulcher shouldn't be a problem. But I think the color mulcher, if I do some creative driving, I can duck and weave back here and get it back here, which we're going to need that color mulcher. Have to see how bad it looks after I get it, because we're going to have to plow it and then probably disc it 2 or 3 times. Have to see how flat it lays down after that. I might have to borrow a land plane, at least for in between the tower and that pond, straighten that section out and get it flat enough to put to hay, and then go from there. I'm half tempted, since this is such a short, I mean, my uncle's place is just a 1/4 mile down the road. I'm half tempted to haul some manure down here, but we'll just have to see how things play. I mean, it ain't like I don't have plenty of time. It's just gonna be a matter of August is gonna be a little hectic, because we got the fair, we got Rantoul, I got an equipment recovery project, which I was hoping to do this weekend, but it's gonna have to be next weekend because the excavator's still not fixed yet. So, but anyway, Shelly bringing me my water jug because I'm thirsty and I forgot to bring it. And once I get some agua, we'll finish cleaning up this little spot here and should be good. should be all the grapple work done. Beds came out. Luckily there was enough root ball and stuff in there. I was able to grab a hold of the whole pile of dirt with a grapple, and I threw it down here in this hole. And I'll take some good dirt, push over top of it, and we should be good. So a couple hours with the skid steer tomorrow and should be good to plow. And I think I kind of forgot about it. I had a brand new ATV sprayer given to me, so I think tomorrow afternoon I might throw that or get that rigged up on my four-wheeler and go to that hay field, which would be, let me see, this is the one in this field. That should be the one, so it'll be the third tower down is where my other hay field is. But I need to go around the tower on that hay field and burn off all the weeds, come on this tower and burn off all these weeds, and probably go along the fence line and burn off, because there's some mare's tail and crap in there that we don't want, so probably go along that and burn it off. But I got an ATV sprayer, might as well use it. It's brand new. Hopefully it works. If I remember right, Shelly's work had it for some reason. I don't know why they would have an ATV sprayer, but they told her to bring it home because they knew I farmed, so free shit's free shit. But anyway, that's it for me for today. I'm gonna go home and take a shower just in case I got into some poison ivy, and get into some air conditioning for that point in the afternoon where you're drinking water by the pint, sweating it by the gallon. So plus I pretty much got everything done here I need to do anyhow. So I guess that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.